Hello Exiles, and this is Fusion Gaming, and welcome to my series of tips and tricks on how to navigate the acts faster. Now today we're going to be exploring Act 9, however I just wanted to just kind of go back because I've had a few comments and a few people that have obviously said that they usually go through Act 8 a little bit differently to the way that I did it. So what I'm going to explain today is a different variation, but in terms of zones and the actual number of zones that you have to navigate, it is exactly the same number of zones. So it's entirely personal preference. So in my walkthrough, I said you could go to the Toxic Conduits, go to the Key, go back to the Grain Gate, go to the Imperial Fields, go to the Solaris level 1, and then go to the Solaris level 2, and then get the Sun Orb. At this point, I then go back to the Toxic Conduits, and I then go left, and I go through the Grand Promenade, Bathhouse, High Gardens, Lunaris Temple, and then go across to the Harbour Bridge. Now, there are a few people that have said to me that they go Toxic Conduits, the Key, they go all the way around to here, they get to the Solaris Temple. What they do when they get to level 2, this is level 2 here by the way, what they will then do is that they will then run through the Solaris Temple level 1, and they will run through till they get to the Solaris Concourse. They will then run through this zone, which I have already done, just obviously for speed, just so you can kind of see the area. They will run through this zone and go and get the waypoint for the concourse, which is over here, when I get there, which is right here. Once they get this waypoint here, they will then go back to the Solaris Temple and go down to level 2 and then complete the boss. At that point, they will then teleport back to town and then take this waypoint, and instead of then going along this route, along obviously through the Grand Promenade, Bathhouse, whatever, they would then go from here down here towards Harbour Bridge, which is then the other direction, other side of the Harbour Bridge, because the Harbour Bridge has 2 entry points. This is the Solaris entry point. The one that I was going on about, or my entry point, is from the Lunaris entry point. They would then run through this, but they would run all the way through. They wouldn't stop, so they would then run all the way through this. So you get to the other side of the bridge, and then you are at the Lunaris Concourse. Now what this does is it completely removes the Grand Promenade as a zone that you can then run through, because as you can see we've just gone straight across and we've skipped across. But what you do now need to do is you do need to go back downstairs and back over to the left over here to the bathhouse. Now to me it just feels a bit like you're going backwards rather than forwards, but this is completely personal preference. And then from here you would then navigate the bathhouse. So obviously you would have to go to the top up here to see whether there's the door for the High Gardens, or to the trial in the top left there. But then you don't then need to then go do the Grand Promenade. There isn't anything in the Grand Promenade as in like that's any worthwhile, but in terms of zones, you are eliminating the Grand Promenade, but then you are then adding in the fact that you then run through the concourse and the Harbour Bridge to get to here. So it's a case, from the way I see it, it feels to me like you're adding 2 zones rather than, so you're removing 1 but then adding 2, which to me is, again, it's entirely your preference. Because then you have to go back to the Harbour Bridge anyway, and if you've already cleared it and you manage to get down and kill the Moon Orb quick enough, then yes, you can just run straight through there. Or you can put, if you're fast enough, you could potentially put a portal down in the Harbour Bridge, and then if you're fast enough and you could go through to the bathhouse, go through and complete the trial, then go and kill Yugal, then go back to the Lunaris Concourse, then go and kill the Moon Orb, and then get back to your portal in less than 9 minutes, 10 minutes, then go for it. But that is a lot of zones to run through and bosses to kill to do in 9 minutes. So again, this is personal preference. I don't mind whichever way you do it. The way I do it, I feel, is always, I don't know, I always feel that it's very efficient. So we're going to carry on from where we left off. So we were at the Blood Aqueducts. Now, the Blood Aqueducts, I would say, is a fan favourite of the Path of Exile team. And let's just turn on D&D before we even start. So, so with Blood Aqueducts, a lot of people will run through this zone over and over and over and over. Now, just to kind of run through this, if you don't know how to do that, when you click on the waypoint, when you click on Blood Aqueducts, before you click on it, if you hold down Control and click, a new option comes up, a new window here, and you can then select a new instance, and it will then keep creating new instances of monsters. You can then literally run through this zone as many times as you want to level up. So if you get to this zone and you are maybe under leveled, you are maybe, you know, because obviously this zone area level is 61. If you are, let's say, I don't know, 52 or something, you're 53, 54, you're miles behind, then I would stay here for a couple of levels just to catch up. Just because there are a few bosses that you do need to kill in Act 9, and if you are under leveled, then you are going to struggle. It is probably the most linear map in the entire game. It's kind of like the aqueducts in Act 4. It's literally just straight up, up, up. When you cannot go up, cross the river, and then go up, up, up. And if you can't go up any further, cross the river. It's as simple as that. Once you get to the Act 9 town, which is Highgate again, the first thing you want to do is literally run straight upstairs, go to the right here, down and to the descent. So you are now descending the mountain. Now, 9 times out of 10, the door is usually on the right hand side of the arena. So the first thing here is I usually go straight north, go up this side of the mountain here. There's usually a passageway here, yep, and then go into this far right corner, and the door is usually here. There it is. Then from here, depending on the layout of the zone, it usually is north. So I usually then just start heading as north as I can. So obviously I can't go north there. Can I go north? Okay, so I couldn't go north, but obviously as I'm going north, the door has then forced me here. Okay, so it's in the bottom. Again, let's see how this is set out. So this again, I'm going to head north. So I'm going to keep trying to head up. And again, if it's not north, then it will force you. There you go. And now we are in the Vastiri Desert. Now with the Vastiri Desert, there is a item that you do need to pick up, and there is a bit of messing around where you do have to kind of go back and forth, which we will discuss. But you have to find the Storm Blade. Now the Storm Blade is either usually in the bottom left down here. You will know when you find it because you will either have a quest item exclamation mark on your screen, and you will see a ring of pillars. Okay, now because I don't have the quest item on my screen, I'm looking for the pillars so I can show you what it looks like. So it's a little bit harder for me, just because obviously I don't have it marked out on my map. It will be a little bit easier for you because you will have it marked out. I'm going to assume that it's going to be in the bottom right corner. You can always pick up the waypoint as you're running past here. And I'm stuck. How am I stuck? Oh, nice. There we go. I'm going to assume that it's down here. There we go. This ring of pillars here. And in the middle it says Storm Weathered Chest. You just have to press it, kill all of the enemies in the circle, and then pick up the Storm Blade, which will drop at the end of the encounter. You have to just kill all of the enemies and then kill the big sand beasts, whatever they're called, sand Goliaths, and then it will drop in the middle. Now at this point there is a bit of toing and froing, so you then have to go back to town. So if you don't want to do a waypoint, if you don't want to use a portal, just use your waypoint, go back to town, and you have to speak to I think it's Protarius and Vanja, and then you have to speak to Sin. So first of all you have to speak to Protarius and Vanja, then you have to speak to Sin, and then you have to go back to Protarius and Vanja, and they will then give you the bottled storm. At this point, go back to the desert. You're doing all of this, by the way, for a skill point, so it's kind of mandatory. Once you've got the Bottle Storm, just head straight west in a westerly direction until you see this here. There'll be like a gate passageway. Now when you get here, there'll be some sand falling, but as soon as you touch it with a Bottle Storm, it will then clear and you'll be able to see the door for the Oasis. Now in the Oasis, the best thing that I always do is I always follow the wall here up, and the door is usually, there's only two places it can be, either in the far top right corner, which is the sand pit, or if it's not in the top right corner, which it is on this occasion, then you have to then go all the way down to the bottom, and the whole map will kind of do a bit of a circle and loop down to the bottom. Okay, but first thing I do is I usually just run that wall all the way up, and there's the sand pit. In here, you do have to kill the scorpion, Shikari. She is a phased boss. Now once you phased her there, you then have to run up here, and she then continues to fire projectiles at you and go underground, tunnel along, fire another projectile, and just to add to that, more scorpions will start to appear as you start to go down, little smaller ones. Just try to avoid her blasts if you can, because sometimes they can hurt. Once you have killed all of the scorpions, it will then move on, and she will then keep on phasing all the way down to her arena. Now she is a phase boss, so you will need to do some damage to her and then leave her to carry on doing what she's doing. Eventually she does come back out and you can then attack her. Like there we go. Now at this point I would then recommend for you to then go back to town. You have to go back to town anyway to pick up your skill point. If you speak to Irasha, she will give you a skill point. Then you want to then take the waypoint back to the Vastiri desert. Once back in the desert, you now want to head straight north, and you're heading now for the doorway for the Foothills, which should be straight north. Can't really go wrong with this because it's always on this top back wall. There we go. The Foothills. In the Foothills, again, I head straight north because you are then heading for the boiling lake. So I head in a northerly direction until you see the waypoint. Once you see the waypoint, the door will be right next to it there. In the boiling lake, I always usually I follow this coastline here, or this kind of ridge on the right. Then I then go down the stairs, or down the ramp, sorry, and then go in a northeast direction, north/northeast direction, and you're then you're looking for all these statues here that have all been kind of frozen. This bit here. When you get to here, you're then literally just heading for this little guy here, and you're then wanting to kill the basilisk. You have to kill him. He will then drop a certain item, and it will then unbreak all of these other soldiers. So again, it's up to you if you want to kill them. Make sure you pick up the basilisk's acid. Again, you do have to go back to town and then take the waypoint. So there is a lot of going back and forth in this zone, and a lot of using the waypoint. Go back to the Foothills. As soon as you get into the waypoint, go directly west and just keep going west. You will go up and up and up, and you're heading for the mines. So we want to go up. It should be okay. Maybe it may be going down again. Yep, it's going to go down again. Then it's going to go up again. There we go. Then it's going up again, and then we're heading for the mines. There we go. When you see these tracks on the floor here, you should be able to see the door. And here's it's the tunnel, but I know it as the mines. So then when you're in the tunnel, now one thing to be aware of, within this zone, there is a trial of ascendancy which you do need to do. Now it's usually off to the left or to the right. So when you're going up, when you see a turn off that goes to the left like here, that will be your trial. So just go, do your trial, come back to where you were, and carry on heading in a northwesterly direction. You want to keep heading in that direction because the door will be in that direction. So at the moment, obviously the map is forcing me this way, but it will always go back northwest. And then the door should be, well, there's a waypoint first, and then the door should be in the top corner. So again, it should start heading northwest again, like that. And then at that point, the door will be up here for the quarry. There we go. There's the quarry. Now in the quarry, there is a skill point that you will want to obtain. First thing I would advise you to do is just head straight northwest again, go down the stairs again, and pick up the waypoint, just so that you've got it. And there is a crafting recipe that's usually just here. Now, you want to do the ruler of Highgate. Now, she can sometimes be down in the bottom left, down here, which on this occasion, I think she may be. Let's go and check. No, she isn't. But I have had her in every single corner. So if she's not in that corner, then I would usually go into this corner, and there she is, Shrine of the Winds. Go in here, and you then want to then kill the ruler of Highgate. I can't remember her name. Garukhan? Yeah, Garukhan. She is a phase boss again, so you will need to kill her a few times. And she will keep disappearing. Try and avoid the tornadoes if you can, because they do hurt. There we go. She will then drop the Sakima feather. Now, just hold on to it for the time being, because you are going to have to go back to town at some point in the next few minutes. Once you've then done that, I then want you to then head directly east. So head in this direction, like an easterly direction. And you want to head for the door for that's called the Refinery, that should be on this wall here. There we go. It's on this side. It's always on this right side of the map. In the Refinery, there's a few different ways to navigate this one, but I've always been told, and one of my previous, someone once told me, is if you follow these rail tracks on the floor, they will always lead you to the boss. So, but what I always do, you can either go this way or this way. So I'm going to follow them this way, and we're just going to test it out. So I'm going to go this way. Still following the rail tracks, by the way. Now that one has gone in a great circle, so that was a bit of a bad example. But usually I go north and follow the rail tracks that way. This is the method that I follow. So I go north and I follow the tracks. And then it should go right like that. And then it'll pop out the other side, and again follow the tracks round, and you should then have the door to the boss in here. Yeah. You then want to kill General Adus, go through his little room and pick up the Thaumaturgical Sulfite. Then at this point you do need to go back to town anyway, so that you can take the waypoint. At this point, this is when you can then hand in the skill point for the Sakima feather. So pick up the hat, pick up the skill point, and then go back to the quarry. Once you've done that, speak to Sin, who should be stood here, and he will then open the doors for the Belly of the Beast. Now, Belly of the Beast is very similar to the Act 4 Belly of the Beast, where you just literally just need to navigate around. There is no real navigational help in this zone. It's just an absolute pain. There will be many dead ends. I'm gonna try and see if we can't discover any dead ends. Let's see if we can do it. I'm just going off my instincts here. No. We're doing well so far, guys. We're doing well. No dead ends so far. We're still going. Oh, I think we might be onto a winner. Oh, we're doing well, guys. We're doing well. No dead ends yet. Ah, look at that. I was following my instincts there in terms of the way that it usually turns and the way that it usually splits. Again, it's just, that zone is just one of them zones. It's just an absolute nightmare. By the way, the rotting core, when you go down here, As soon as you walk in, the zone is always the same. As soon as you walk in, take your first northerly branch and just follow it, and it will always lead you to the door, like that, to the black core. Now at this point you'll need to speak to Sin, and you'll then open 3 portals to Shavron, Malagaro and Dodri. You can pick which one you want to do first, it's entirely up to you. I usually just kind of go in a counterclockwise direction. These zones, it's just a case of there is only one way to go, and I usually just try and fly through them as quickly as possible. They always go in a northwesterly direction. There is the odd occasion when it will just kind of turn right, but then it will continue to go northwest because the door is always facing in this direction. Go through, kill Shavron, and then you want to carry on to the next one. So again, same with Malagaro. You do need to run through. Again, head in a northwest direction. A block being blocked there. Carry on going through the zone. There's the door for Malagaro. Then once you kill Malagaro, you can then move on to Dodri. Now Malagaro is a phased, so he will disappear and reappear and disappear and reappear and many times. If you kill all of his clones, there we go. Now Dodri is the last one. It's nice and easy. It's literally, this one is in a northeasterly direction for some reason. It kind of goes up to the top right corner. In this top right corner here. Once you kill Dodri, oh, what do we get? Nothing good. Go and speak back to Sin. He will then open up the entrance to the boss arena, which is downstairs, which is the Black Heart. And then you then need to kill all 3 of the bosses in the Deprived Trinity. Once you've done that, you get encapsulated in blood and spat out in Act 10, speak to Lily, and you want to sail to Oriath. That then concludes Act 9, nice and quickly. Act 9 is one of my favourites. It is nice and fast. There is a bit of to and froing back and forth from the waypoint back to town, back to waypoint, back to town, back to the quest zone, back to town. That's the only thing that's annoying within that zone. This is now the act for Act 10, and you are now in the Oriath docks. I am going to finish there just because that is the end of Act 9. I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you have come here and you randomly found an Act 9 video and you're wondering where the hell is Act 1 through to 9, if you check my channel you will be able to see Act 1 through to 8. Also, over the next couple of days, there will be a few more league help videos that are going to be released. I saw the Affliction reveal last night and it looks absolutely amazing. I was going to do a video on it next week and talk about what's best to do in terms of maybe which one to go for first, which ascendancy looks the craziest, and which one I think would be the most broken. But we'll discuss that next week when we go through the Affliction League on the run up to that league. Other than that, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and until we meet again, stay sane, Exile.